The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Arctic Fantasy. They're coming to customers. Play just $5. Get $100 bonus funds. Use promo code MLB SGPN. And welcome, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It's currently Saturday morning, November 1st, around 11 a.m. Eastern. I'm Rose Scott Rachel, joined by Lonte Smith. Together, we're going to break down the final game of the baseball season, Game 7 of the World Series. First time we've been here since, I believe, the Nationals and Astros series a couple years ago for Game 7 in the World Series. But either way, once again, one game left, winner take all. Should be fun. Looking forward to it. Lonte, how's it going with you? What's up?
Yeah, pretty good, man. Ironically, Max Scherzer was pitching in that game too. Yeah, I mean, we had NBA Game 7. Obviously, the Super Bowl and March Madness are just one game set-offs. And then hockey went 6 or 5?
Hockey went 7 2 years ago. Last year went 6.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, man, it's been a good sports year if you roll over the calendar, man, with Game 7s. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it should be fun. But either way, once again, only one game left. So no matter who wins, it's the last time you'll watch baseball until basically spring training, unless you watch something internationally. But either way, point is, should be fun. Looking forward to it. Before we get into the actual breakdown, though, of Game 7, do want to recap a bit of what happened in Game 6. And before we get into Game 6, a reminder that you can check out a bunch of different podcasts from this network covering a bunch of different leagues and sports, all for free. So the NFL, MLB, NBA, college football, and the NHL are all live. We've got multiple podcasts giving out free picks on everything. Subscribe to the SGPN feed on Spotify or Apple to catch every episode wherever you do get your podcasts. So starting off with the recap of what happened in Game 6. So Dodgers, of course, won. They were down 3-2 in the series, came back and they won, mainly because Yamamoto was insane again. He didn't have a complete game, but he still went 6 innings, only giving up 1 run. Got into some trouble, but he was able to survive every time. And eventually the Dodgers bullpen almost blew the game. Keyword almost, as Sasaki let some guys get on base. They brought in Glasnow, who threw 3 pitches. And Toronto had second and third no outs. We had a controversial ground rule double, which according to the rules, technically right. But let's be real. He could have easily grabbed the ball, if we're being honest here. But either way, a point is smart play by Dean in center field. It's why the Dodgers use him as a defensive replacement, because he knows the rules. And he decided, you know what, I can manipulate the rule to get a ground rule double to not allow a run to score. Then you ended up seeing Clement pop up on the first pitch, followed by a line-out double play, and Barger, who had the controversial ground rule double, ended up getting doubled off second base, and the game was over at that point. So I'm going to ask you, Lonte, first things first, any thoughts on the actual Game 6? Did you enjoy it? A bit underwhelming? What were your thoughts on Game 6?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good, I think, third inning. That's where all the action happened. I thought the Dodgers kind of stole one because they didn't have anything at all. I think what did they have, like 4 hits in the game, if I'm not mistaken?
So the Dodgers scored 4 runs on 3. They scored 3 runs on 4 hits, and the Blue Jays had 1 run on 8 hits.
Yeah, so I think they completely stole one. But again, that's what happens whenever you have Yamamoto and the other team doesn't. I thought that the Dodgers struck first, and I think coming in, we all kind of thought that Toronto had to win high-scoring games, and we saw it throughout the first 6 games. Their losses have come when they just don't have enough offense, just because their pitching is not as good. I mean, Yesevich was dynamite, but again, outside of that, like if they don't score runs, they can't win a low-scoring game. And I thought the Dodgers were more well-equipped to do that, and that's what showed last night. So, I mean, the ground rule double was probably one of the smartest plays I've seen in a while. But, I mean, credit to him, knowing the rules. And, I mean, it pretty much saved them the game, because who knows what happens at that point if they kind of rally up. But overall, I mean, good third inning. The rest, I mean, we went, 6 innings without a run. I think a couple innings without somebody getting on base. So a good defensive game for the old baseball lovers who love that kind of stuff. But, I mean, I thought it was fun. The Dodgers just found a way to win. And it's going to bring us to a pivotal game here.
Yeah, in fact, we had 8 innings with no runs. because every run that was scored in the game was scored in the third inning. So you saw a bunch of zeros after that. Betts had a pretty nice insurance single there after they moved him to cleanup. And besides that, we saw Will Smith RBI as well. So Betts finally got going a little bit. They changed his spot in the lineup. He had a hit with 2 RBIs, so a big bases loaded single. And once again, we ended up seeing a lot of solid pitching, a lot of squandered opportunities. The Dodgers were 2 for 6 with run scoring position, which is not terrible. Blue Jays, by comparison, were 1 for 9. So they left 8 guys on base, a lot of chances. But either way, a point is Yamamoto got his second win of the World Series. His ERA is so much better than every other Dodger starter so far in the series, and we'll see if he ends up pitching out of the bullpen maybe in Game 7.
But real quick.
Yeah,
you think that Yamamoto probably could have went a little bit longer, and then they kind of just were like, "Hey, we're probably gonna need you for like an inning or 2 in Game 7."
So it's funny you bring that up because Dylan and I had that exact conversation in the video or the episode for Game 6. And I actually had almost the exact same prediction as what happened, or the exact same fake scenario. I ended up asking Dylan if Yamamoto had like 95 to 105 pitches through 6. And coincidentally, he was at exactly 96 pitches. We had a conversation if Roberts would leave Yamamoto in just to try to steal an inning because he didn't really trust the bullpen at all. We both thought the answer was yes. The answer was no because they ended up using Wroblewski for an inning before Sasaki, and then Glasnow came in. But the point is, we were both wrong. We thought that Yamamoto would be pushed to about 110, give or take, and instead they pulled him at 96. But I did pose the exact same question, thinking what you're thinking, which is, do you potentially save him 15 pitches to give you something in Game 7? And we're going to find out because I see that kind of segues into what Bear's asking, which is, can anybody win MVP besides Ohtani and besides Vlad at this point? If Toronto wins, Vlad's getting it, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's not it.
I think for Ohtani, it's interesting because people are talking about him pitching. And how we'll get into Game 7 in a second. The fact is Ohtani is now potentially an opener. We'll see how long he goes. If Ohtani stinks pitching in this game, and at the plate, maybe he goes like 1 for 4, and he just does not really do much from the plate, but pitching-wise, he's not very good. Do you still give him MVP? Because I was thinking about that last night. I have Yamamoto in my back pocket at like 18-1. So I think he's down to like 6 or 7-1. The thing is, Ohtani, besides Game 3, I know he had the homer in the blowout loss they had in Game 1, where he did have a meaningless home run, but it still counts towards the stats. He reached base 9 times in one game. It's arguably the greatest World Series game of all time by a player. Since then, he's kind of done absolutely nothing, and he got shelled on the mound in his only start. So I'm going to ask you, if Ohtani ends up struggling, I think if he has a good game, of course he's going to end up winning it. Yeah. But if Ohtani struggles on the mound and he doesn't hit a home run, he gets on base maybe 1 time, and he just gives up, let's say, 3 earned in 3-4 innings. Just not a good outing at all. And the Dodgers win anyway. Do you think he wins MVP?
Yeah, so I think it comes down to basically 2 things. So obviously, I think the odds are correct because Yamamoto has more. I mean, because Ohtani has more paths to victory than what Yamamoto has. Because it's a chance that Yamamoto just doesn't see any time on the mound.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So that's priced in, and I understand that. So basically, Ohtani can be decent pitching and go 2 for 5 with a home run, a stolen base, a couple RBIs, whatever. And he'll win it. Like, all he has to do is go decent on one side of the ball or the other. Like, it doesn't have to be both. So, I mean, I would take a look at Yamamoto because if Ohtani goes, let's say he gets in trouble early on and then he doesn't have it at the plate, Yamamoto comes in, they're, up 2-1, he kind of shuts everything down at the end of the game, then I think that's the lasting, picture in everybody's heads. And it's like, okay, he's had these games earlier on, pivotal games. I mean, he pitched in obviously a winner-go-home type of scenario and was dominant. You know what I'm saying? So I would look at Yamamoto, but I kind of understand the Ohtani, narrative. But I mean, if he has like a home run and like one earned, it's over. Like so.
That's kind of how I feel, but people are automatically penciling Ohtani in to be the massive favorite because, of course, he is pitching in Game 7. But they're only assuming the good outcome, which is him pitching well.
Yeah.
I feel like if Ohtani comes out there and just does not have it, and maybe Toronto jumps him, we saw him struggle in his only start so far in the series.
And it's possible.
We'll mention Game 7 in a second. But if you get a high-scoring game, Ohtani doesn't have it. They go down, let's say, 2-0 immediately, and Ohtani goes like 2 innings. And then the offense wakes up, and Ohtani does not have a monster home run or something. And Yamamoto does pitch out of the bullpen on no day's rest and actually pitches well to end the game. I think he can steal this.
Yeah, I agree.
And I know the Fox Sports panel with Ortiz and A-Rod and Jeter kind of said the same thing. Ortiz said he would vote for Yamamoto. I would vote for Yamamoto if I had to vote for it, but I don't, obviously. And not even just being biased because I have a ticket on Yamamoto to win the MVP. I just think that his starts have been so instrumental to the Dodgers winning. And the fact is, it's currently 3-3. Yamamoto has 2 of those 3 wins. So he's been extremely important for the Dodgers to even make it to Game 7 in the first place. Right now, I only see 3 people that can win MVP.
Yep.
For the Blue Jays, I just think it's Vlad at this point as the leader of the team. Guy who's had multiple home runs in the series. I just think he's going to win the award if the Blue Jays win. For the Dodgers, Ohtani or Yamamoto. I see a 3-horse race.
Yeah.
That's all I got. You?
Yeah, agree. Completely agree.
Yeah, I see Bear asking if Freeman can win it if he hits another walk-off.
No.
I'm going to say no. I don't think
He's
so.
been horrible.
Yeah. He had the big home run, of course, in the 18th inning, but besides that, he hasn't really done much.
Yeah,
so we'll see. But either way, if Ohtani pitches well, he'll win it. If he doesn't and his bat doesn't really do much in the game, then I think Yamamoto can actually steal this. But I'm also wondering, since it comes down to voters, if voters just give it to Ohtani blindly because he's the face of the league. So we'll see what happens. But there's a face of the league tax with this line as well. I hope Yamamoto wins because I have a ticket on it. But if Ohtani won it, I would definitely not be surprised. That's kind of my expectation anyway. But I'll ask you once again for Game 6. Anything you want to talk about from Game 6, or do you want to move on?
No, I think some of the thoughts that I had will kind of bleed into the Game 7.
Yeah, I agree. The last thing I'll say is the Barger base running was absolutely atrocious in second base.
Yeah.
It's not a Buckner blunder, but it's a pretty bad one.
It's close.
Yeah, I was going to say, we haven't really... I think it's probably worse based on the spot than the Judge drop fly ball, because at least that... But that one was like Game 5. I know that they were winning that game, but they were still down a ton in the series. You're the tying run on second base in Game 6. Like, I think that one's like worse than the Judge dropped fly ball, but it's kind of in that territory. It's a really bad blunder in the World
Stakes are higher, too.
Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. But once again, the Judge one was really bad, too. But the Yankees, I never thought were going to win the series when they were down 3-0. Right. It doesn't really hit the same. But either way, before we get into our thoughts for Game 7, a reminder that we are brought to you by our sponsor, MLB using to bet on football and everything else. You could also use a prop, second to none. They have a lot of options for actually funding your account, including crypto. So use crypto for deposits and get payouts with crypto at MLB. Use the code SGPN for a special 100% bet back bonus up to $5 for customers. MLB promo code SGPN. We're also brought by Novig, which is the number one prediction market for sports in America. Get some great prices using Novig Reduced Juice, available in 30 states. Download the app when you do so. $50 to spend just $5 if use our promo code SGPN. And then actually Novig promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finish recapping Game 6. Time to move on into Game 7. So for this one, you're looking at a matchup between Ohtani and Scherzer. Don't know how long either guy is going to go. Ohtani might go an inning, maybe 4 innings. I'm sure a lot of it comes down to how sharp he actually looks. Roberts was asked about a post-game in Game 6, and he said, we'll see. Thanks a lot. That's a very, very thoughtful answer for us. For Scherzer, kind of the same story for different reasons. We know that Scherzer has been kind of underwhelming so far this season, but in the postseason, it's been a bumpy ride. I'll put it that way. Now, he was decent against the Mariners in his only outing of that series, 5 2/3, 2 earned. Started against the Dodgers, though, not great, 4 1/3, 3 earned. So I have more faith in Ohtani than Scherzer, but not much faith in either at this point because Ohtani might not go length, and he wasn't very good in his first outing against Toronto in this series. Now, for the actual prices, Dodgers are favored in this game. They're about minus 145, minus 150. For Toronto, I see around plus 130. For the over-under, I see 7.5 or 8. 7.5 over is minus 122. The 8 under is about minus 115. So split line, you can shop around, pick whichever number you do want, depending on what script you're predicting for this game. So for starters, before we get into who's going to win the game, do you think with Ohtani as an opener, the Dodgers should be about minus 150?
Yeah, about right. Just because of the sequence that they can go in. They can go Ohtani, Glasnow, maybe even throw in Sasaki for, like longer relief if they need to. Like they have the requisite pieces to, do, kind of a bullpen game if you want to say it that way. Scherzer, I mean, I just, like you said, I just don't have a ton of faith in him. I mean, he is the 4th pitcher in MLB history to pitch 2 Game 7s, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, that's a good milestone, but like, I don't think he pitched well, and I think that was kind of his like swan song. I don't think he'll have it here, especially with the Dodgers offense not like living up to their standard. And I think this is one of those games where we kind of get everybody clicking on one cylinder, and that's not good early on for Scherzer. And then again, like let's just say he blows up and gives up 3 in the first inning, and he gets through the second inning and gets in trouble in the third. Who do you bring in? Like if you're Toronto.
I mean, it's a great question because you got to think of who's available. I'd argue Bieber if I had to pick somebody.
Right, and then would you bring your Savage in later?
I mean, it depends how well Bieber pitches. We don't have a choice.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. Like, so that's they're better equipped to handle this type of game than, I mean, you're going with Ohtani. I mean, Sasaki, he's been in the bullpen, but he's got starting pitching, experience. And I mean, Glasnow threw, you said 3 pitches, right? So, I mean, he wasn't in a ton of high leverage situations. So if Ohtani can go, 2 or 3 innings and be fine, Glasnow picks up and goes 2 to 3 more innings, like you kind of are in that mode where you can bring Yamamoto in or, Clayton Kershaw, maybe.
Kershaw's thrown what? He's faced 1 batter?
Yeah, I mean, but Robert said everything's on the table. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's probably matchup dependent. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if Kershaw comes in, it's 2 outs against the lefty. Like, there's no chance of giving him an inning.
Yeah.
So that's the only time I'd see Kershaw pitch.
It'll be at the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah, pretty much. It would be to Lucas again or to somebody there, but no, Kershaw's not going to go any length at all.
Yeah.
But they got one more. I'll give them props though. They got one more out of Kershaw in the series than I thought they were going to, so that counts for something, I guess.
Yeah.
I never thought we'd see him, but he ended up, of course, He ended up getting the ground out for Lucas, but I don't expect Kershaw to pitch basically at all in this series, or in this game. But anyway, so you think the Dodgers should be this big of a favorite?
Yeah.
Are you picking them to win the game?
Yeah, I think they win the game. We saw, like I said, I think their offense will wake up here, especially against Scherzer. They've seen him once. He was semi-dominant in that game. A lot of it had to do with the Dodgers just not having it, to be honest. But I'll give him credit for that. They had poor at-bats. We saw Mookie kind of get things going early on with the big I think he had a 2 RBI single. Was it 2 RBIs?
With 2 outs in the third.
Yeah, so that was a big hit. And then still at the middle of their lineup, like Teoscar was 0 for, Muncy 0 for. Like these guys did not produce.
Yeah.
And I mean, even Freeman was 0 for, if I'm not mistaken. So they have to put together. We haven't seen, like, when's the last time we've seen a complete like Dodgers like offensive performance? Like,
I've been calling it out for weeks. We have not seen a complete Dodgers offense performance.
It's been a minute. So
you could argue maybe game 2 because Muncy homered and Smith homered, but still it wasn't really that dominant of a showing. But you had a couple guys who stepped up. But no, it's been a while. The Dodgers kind of top out at 5 runs. Usually.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is one of those games where everybody shows up, timely hits, and they've been in position to like kind of break games open, and they can't do it. Whether that's Mookie grounding into a double play, flying out, whether that's Muncy striking, like it's all these different components that go into the game that I think are going to flip for the Dodgers in this specific spot, especially if you put. I mean, you talked about this. I think you were one of the first people I heard talk about this. Like, home field advantage in baseball, it can flip on you. We talked about it with the Mariners. We talked about it with the Brewers. Like, if Scherzer goes out there and he can't, muster up 3 or 4 innings.
It's going to be as quiet as a church.
Exactly. And then all that pressure is on to the home team because the Dodgers are pretty much playing as free as they can if they get up 2-0. So that's the reason why I like the Dodgers. I think they jumped Scherzer early on. I'm looking at the Yerfie as well. So, I think the Dodgers might bury him here.
We'll see what happens, but I'll ask you, based on what you just said, I'm assuming you like the over in the game.
Yeah, I do. I like the team total over a little bit more, though.
Okay, so for me, it kind of comes back to what I said for Game 6, which is I think the Dodgers win the game, but do I want the price to be that large? No, I don't. I think 150 is just an insane price for a Game 7 when you have an opener, basically, on the mound. The counterpoint is I think Scherzer's not going to pitch well in this game. So you might be looking at Ohtani potentially holding serve, which might just be enough to give them a lead. Ohtani ends up going 3 innings, giving up 1 earned, doesn't pitch well, but he still has a lead when he leaves the game. And at that point, you're looking at Glasnow again because he only threw 3 pitches in Game 6. And then we'll see how Glasnow looks, but you can still piggyback off that. Then again, Dodgers bullpen still not great. It's been okay in the series, but you still don't really trust the arms they have. Toronto, you're probably looking at some type of piggybacking from Scherzer to Bieber, maybe Yasevich if you need it. And then at that point, you let the bullpen go, but we'll see. The point is both teams, pitching-wise, kind of have shaky, I'd say, game plans going in, which does scare me. Now, we saw a bunch of wasted chances in Game 6, but there were still chances. Good guys on base. I do think I'll go with the over in this game. I do think 7.5 is pretty low, so I'll go for the over on that. If you wanted to go for the first 5 total, you can find a 4 flat at -130. Mostly 4.5s at around even money, but there is a 4 on BetMGM at -130, which I do like. But I like the over. You mentioned the Yerfie. I like that. I think a lot of people expect the game, since it's a Game 7, comes down to the wire, automatic 3-1 game. I don't see that. I think both pitchers struggle, and I think that you're going to see both offenses get going. I definitely do not expect the game with 0 home runs again like we saw in Game 6. Both guys, I think, are going to struggle on the mound. I think we'll get some chances. I think that unlike Game 6, people convert with guys on base, and I see a high-scoring game. I think it could be a 5-3 game. Maybe it could be even more high-scoring, but both teams with their pitching game plans, I think, are pretty shaky for this one. So I agree with you about the over. I think the Dodgers win, but the problem is I really don't like the 150 price tag. I think it should be closer than that. So I guess for value, I'm on Toronto because I just think the Dodgers should be -130, -125. I don't see a massive money line price being warranted unless you really think Scherzer gets killed immediately. If you think Scherzer gets killed immediately, then sure, take the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
But then again, if you think Scherzer gets killed, then take the Dodgers first 5 -0.5 a run. Because you think that they're going to get buried early and you get to avoid the bullpens. Like I think there are a couple ways to bet the Dodgers if you are picking these Scherzer blow-up start. So I don't like the 150 at all. That's kind of the problem that I have there, is that I think if you want to go for the Dodgers, there are better ways to take it at cheaper prices compared to the -150 money line. Yeah. I don't see any value on the 150 money line. Yeah. So
if you like the Blue Jays, I would just find like Vlad to win World Series MVP at +140. You can find +140 if you shop.
We agree, though, that if Toronto wins, I know, of course, if you have the random 4 home run game, like crazy things could happen, but in reality, assuming nobody goes absolutely nuts with like 7 RBIs in a Game 7, Vlad's just winning it for Toronto.
Yeah, that's why I said it's more value on betting Vlad to win. And if you like the Dodgers, like you're saying, like I would bet Ohtani to win MVP at it's just a flat 110. Or you maybe can find a little bit better. Like I would try to, manipulate it like that because, if he goes, it's like if he has to just go like. It's the margin of error is so like large for him because he's going on both sides. Mm-hmm. So if he doesn't have it pitching, he could have a good day hitting. And if God forbid, if he has like 2 home runs and strikes out like 5 or 6 batters, it's over. Like,
Well, it's not even two. If he pitches decently and has a double, he's probably winning the damn award. Like he needs to have an awful game 7.
Yeah. Like, and, I mean, he's had awful games, but again, like, I mean, I can't. He's
also pitching. I get what you're saying. Look, once again, I've mentioned it before on this exact show. I have Yamamoto at 18-1 to win MVP.
I got 20.
I think I'm borderline dead. I know that Ortiz and a bunch of people, I tweeted about it. I would vote for Yamamoto. But based on the voters, based on baseball, the fact that he reached base 9 times in a game, I just think that the voters are going to give it to him. That's kind of where I'm at, where whether you think it's fair or not, I think Yamamoto's impacted more games compared to Ohtani at this point. Yamamoto's had 2 wins. Ohtani had 1 crazy game. But the numbers for Ohtani are insane because of that 1 game. And the fact is he's pitching and hitting in Game 7. So I think Ohtani is going to win the award. I think people after the game are going to say robbery, it should have been Yamamoto, all that stuff. But I just expect the voters to give it to him because the narrative's there. He's the face of the league, and he's pitching and hitting in Game 7, which has probably never happened ever. Then again, I mean, I'm not including the old National League where you had to hit if you were a pitcher. I mean, like actual two-way performance when it's no longer required anymore. That's what I'm saying. Like, there are way too many narratives supporting Ohtani winning it. So I agree with you. I think if the Dodgers win, Ohtani gets it, unless he is atrocious in Game 7. And Yamamoto comes out of the bullpen. I think he needs to come out of the bullpen and pitch an inning. So we'll see what happens. But I hope Yamamoto wins it at 18-1. I think Ohtani's winning it. Yeah,
Yamamoto had, I mean, if you just look at his history, like, even when he was over in Japan, like, he's pitched, like, crazy number of innings.
They all do over in Japan. Remember Tanaka had, like, an 160-pitch outing and then pitched, like, a day later?
Yeah.
That's always been a thing in the Japanese league.
Yeah,
like, they don't believe in rest for pitchers.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, I don't know if Roberts will do it, but I do think it's something to him only going that 6 innings. I really do think it's something to that. And again, my thing is how I'm handicapping the game. I don't think it will come like high leverage situation where he has to pitch because I think they kind of mash Scherzer. So that's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I think Yamamoto actually will pitch in this game. That's going to be my hottish take for this one. He only threw 96. That felt calculated to me. I think he is going to go.
I agree with that, yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I hope he does. I have his MVP.
Yeah, but anyway, if the game is out of reach, then it's kind of pointless.
Oh, that is correct. Unless you really hate the bullpen and you really just want to let Yamamoto go.
Again, that kind of goes to your point. So he might come in at least for an inning. So if it's 4-1 late, like, they got to close the door. I kind of agree with you.
Yeah, so Bear saying he didn't see Kirk get hit by a pitch yesterday. He got hit by a pitch. It wasn't a fastball. I believe it was a changeup that kind of just went awry and ended up hitting him in the hand. It wasn't that bad. He stayed in the game and all, but once again, Kirk did get hit by a pitch yesterday. Anyway, so I'll ask you, though, for player props, going to segue. Well, first of all, did you have anything else you wanted to add for the game? Or just
no, I think we covered it all. Okay.
So moving on to props, what do you like?
Yeah, so I like 2 guys. I like Muncy and I like Freeman, both lefties. I think that they will pitch. I mean, not pitch. I think that they will hit the ball extremely well. Both coming off of 0 games, typically big games. Freeman shows up. I like Muncy being in the middle of that lineup because if all things go as they're predicted to go, he will get ample chances to, hit a couple RBIs, get guys on. Like, I think that he has the chance to have a really good game. So I'm looking at his total bases. Also looking at both of those guys like home runs as well. So I like both lefties today.
Yeah. Whatever. I do think, starting off with the basics, I made a joke about it on Twitter, but I keep giving it out every damn game. Clement single. Do you want to guess the price on that?
Plus 120.
Okay, no, it is plus 103.
Oh, okay.
So Clement has had a single in 17 of the last 20 games. He's had at least one single in 7 straight games, and I'm getting plus money. What are we doing?
He had two last night, right?
Yes, you had one where you could argue maybe it was an error on Betts, but no, it's a tough single up the middle. I thought that was a fair grade. It was an infield single. But Betts did drop the ball once he got there, but it wasn't an easy play. So I agree with the infield single call there. But either way, I like a single because, I've been giving it out every game, and it keeps winning, so I'll keep taking it. And we think it might be a higher scoring game. So give me Clement single at plus 103. I don't know if that even counts because I was going to give that out blindly anyway, but it is plus 103, so I'll go for that. Now, I do have a couple of options here. The question is, who do I think actually pitches well or poorly? Scherzer's earned runs are at 1.5. The problem is his outs are set at 9.5, so I don't know how long he's going to actually go. His under 9.5 outs are minus 145, so you can argue that he's getting pulled immediately, but I really think he's going to struggle. So I'll go for Scherzer over 1.5 earned runs. It's minus 131. I have no faith.
Yeah,
I have no faith in Scherzer. I think that he's washed, and I do think that after having even a decent outing against Seattle, he wasn't completely sharp. They had guys on base. He just was able to dance out of trouble. But he was bad in his first outing. I don't see him pitching well here. Maybe argue Scherzer turns back the clock. Maybe has himself a final outing before maybe he retires. Who knows? But I do think Scherzer's going to struggle in this matchup. I'm not sold on either starting pitcher, but Scherzer especially. So I like Scherzer over 1.5 earned, which I'm assuming you co-sign because I know you're not exactly a fan of him in this outing in general.
Yeah, 100%. Is there a market where you can bet like earned run in the first inning for him? Because I would love to bet that.
Earned run the first inning, no, but you can bet on the team to score in the first inning.
Yeah, I think it's going to play out like Ohtani singles. Bit. Have they released the lineups? Is it still going to be Ohtani bets, Freeman?
By the way, just for reference, Dodgers to score a run in the first inning plus 190.
Oh my God, yeah, that's a great bit.
So it's not an earned run, but it is a run in the first inning at plus 190. For the lineup right now, I'm assuming. I mean, we don't have confirmation. Bet should probably be cleanup again because he had the 2-run single. So you're probably looking at Ohtani, Freeman, Smith, and then Betts maybe. I'm assuming.
Yeah, so Ohtani single, Freeman home run first inning. That's how I'm calling it.
Well, I'd probably flip the order. It's probably going to be Ohtani, Smith, Freeman, Betts because they want to go lefty-righty and just
okay. Oh yeah.
down the lineup.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, let's go Ohtani double, strikeout, and then Freeman cleans it up. 2-run homer.
All right. So for me, looking at some other stuff I'm tempted by, do I think they intentionally walk Ohtani a couple of times in this game?
Yes, late. Absolutely.
I'm wondering because his walk in the game, over 1.5 walks is plus 137. Half a walk is minus 405. Ohtani's walked less than 2 times in every game, besides the 5 walks in game 3. So plus 137, you could argue, is interesting. I think I'd rather go plate appearance if you have a book that grades intentional walks as walks. Some books void it, which is a complete robbery. But some books do that. So maybe if you can sense a guy being on base, then you bet the live betting of Ohtani to walk at his next plate appearance. But only do that on books that actually grade intentional walks as walks. A couple books don't do that, as dumb as that sounds. So keep that in mind. I'm actually kind of tempted by Ohtani under 2.5 HRR at minus 130, give or take. Because if Ohtani intentionally walks, he's not getting a hit and he's not getting a run, or he's not getting an RBI. So you might be eliminating a couple of at-bats there if you think they pitch around Ohtani. He can still score. That's still a possibility. We saw that with the Smith single, or double, in, once again, Game 6. I don't mind the Ohtani under 2.5 HRR, knowing if they pitch around him and walk him at least one time, once again, walks minus 400, you're losing a plate appearance.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't mind that to get a little bit cute. I didn't mind Ohtani. His stolen base in the game is available at plus 425.
I kind of like that. If he's going to be pitched around a couple of times, he'll get on base. He'll try to swipe a bag. He got caught last time he did.
I don't believe anybody successfully stolen a base this entire series.
Yeah. I think he's gonna.
I was gonna say I don't remember a single stolen base in this entire.
Yeah, no, I don't either. I know Kirk threw him out because he got there initially. He was safe, but then he kind of went off the bag and got tagged out.
Yeah, that was early though. I don't think anyone's attempted a steal in multiple games, but it's kind of funny though because I mentioned going to the series. I don't even think we saw lines on it, but Adam and I talked about like the leaders of hits and home runs, etc. There was a stolen base leader. And I gave a shout out to Dean, But nobody has any stolen bases anyway. There was no line on Dean, but that was my long shot, just as a pinch runner Terrence Gore guy. But nobody's stolen a base this entire series. So we'll see what happens. Maybe that changes. But either way, I didn't mind Ohtani under 2.5 HRR, knowing they might pitch around him if needed. So that's kind of my thoughts there. Any other props you want to mention for this game?
Let's see. We talked about Freeman, Muncy. No, not really. I think if you think that Mookie has, kind of found a new rhythm, maybe take his HRR. I mean, he's a big game player as well, so I'm tempted by a lot of things. But I've been losing on him like all playoffs, so I kind of hesitant there. But yeah, I think the top of that lineup has a really good game.
Yeah, there's one other prop I'm tempted by, but I wanted to ask you which you think is the better price. Teoscar no hits at plus 140, or Teoscar 2+ strikeouts at plus 113.
I would like more. Yeah, I would go with the first one.
The no hits?
Yeah, I would go with the no hits.
Yeah,
he's got some horrible at bats, man.
Atrocious. Yeah, I tweeted about that too. His at bat construction is unnecessary.
He's had some.
It's pretty funny though for Teoscar because he struck out 5 times in the last 2 games combined. Yet he randomly had no strikeouts with 8 plate appearances in the 18-inning game. So for one game, he just pieced it together and then went right back to just striking out all the time. So I didn't mind Teoscar no hits at plus 140.
I was looking at Vlad walks too. If I'm Roberts, I
wouldn't pitch to him.
Yeah, he's not seeing a pitch. I'm sorry.
Vlad for his walk in the game is available at it's minus 148.
Yeah, it's no shot. I would like. Sorry, you're going down the first every time.
For reference, by the way, 2 walks for Vlad is at 4-1, and he has walked 2+ times in 2 of the last 4 games.
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay, there we go. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for our thoughts on player props. Before we get into our best bets for Game 7, a reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor, Arnold Fantasy. So you could play Fantasy Pick'em entry, chance to win 5,000 times your entry, pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats. They have a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5, get $100 bonus funds. Use promo code MLB SGPN. We're also brought by Rhythm. So they're crushing it in college football, the NFL, and now the NBA. College football starts in about 20 minutes. So if you want some extra plays, check out Rhythm for some plays there. Also giving away cash prize every week just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type of model that you built, and you can win $1K. Use code SGPN25 when you download the app for a quarter first month. Download the monthly promo code SGPN25 for a quarter off your first month. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finish going through our thoughts for Game 7 of the World Series. Time to move on into the best bets. Lonte, what's going to be your best bet? You know what? We can do something a bit different here. You can do a prop as your best bet, but we'll do a best bet and a prop. So what's going to be your best bet and prop for this game? Yeah.
So best bet, Dodgers team total over 4.5. That's at plus 110. That's at Caesars. Just shop around because like BetMGM has 105, FanDuel has 106, ESPN Bet has 105, DK has even. So shop around. You can find 110. It's 110 at multiple places. So plus 110 for the Dodgers team total over. For the
I had a question for you on that.
Yeah, good.
So you're going 4.5 full game of plus 110.
Yeah.
We both think the game starts out pretty high scoring. Is there a reason why you're going 4.5 full game at plus 110 compared to first 5, 2.5 at even money?
Just in case in case Scherzer does pitch well, which I mean, I don't think so.
That's fine.
Yeah, and also if we get extra innings, I think that adds more incentive to that as well.
Okay. I was just curious why you chose the full game instead of the first.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I chose the full game because I mean it's not far fetched. I mean he's done it before. Like Scherzer has pitched well. Now I don't think he will, but I mean it's a possibility. So I just wanted to go full game with that. So I'm gonna go total bases. Let's go Freddie Freeman over 1.5. That's at plus. I mean this is all over the place as well. I see plus 110 like across the board for the most part. Plus 114 at DK. So, I mean, it's a big game. Ofer, he's kind of bounced back when he's had poor games. Good at bats, just not resulting in runs. So, Freddie Freeman, over 1.5 total bases, plus 110.
By the way, I saw somebody in the comment section saying that Freeman actually did steal a base in Game 3. So, thank you for bringing that up. I forgot.
Was that the ball? Yeah, the ball got by Kurt. Was that?
Yes, and I was not sure if that actually counted as a steal or if that counted as just a wild pitch, basically. But yes,
right. Okay.
Right now Freeman, I believe, is the only one to steal a base in the series. So
he jogged and did it.
Yeah, so Matt, thanks for bringing that up. I forgot they counted that as a stolen base. But for my best bet, I'm just going to go with the over in the either game or first five. I think I'll just go for the game because you mentioned extra innings. I thought about the first five, which you can go for if you want it, but 4 at minus 130. I don't want to bet on 5 in the first five. I ended up having the first 5 under, mainly because in the last game, because I just thought 5 wasn't that realistic. They got the 4. I got a refund. I can live with that. But I do think the full game, 7.5, does feel pretty low when I have questions about both pitchers in this game. Not to mention Glasnow might be pitching for the second straight day. Couple of questions there. So I don't mind the over, 7.5 minus 122 on FanDuel. Actually, I see 120 on Fanatics. So if you want to go for 7.5 there, I'll go for it as my best bet at minus 120 for 7.5. For the actual prop play, I got to do it. I have a couple of plays that I'm tempted by. Ohtani under 2.5 HRR. But you know what? It's become a running bit on the show because it keeps cashing. Give me Ernie Clement's single. We are going to ride this until the season officially ends. Clement's single at plus 103 on DraftKings. Got to take it. It's gotten there every damn game of the series. It has been the wagon of all wagons. I will go with, once again, Clement to record a single at plus 103 as my main prop. Anyway, moving on to home run picks. I said this to you last time. I said this last time. You can also choose a no home run if you want to. We should get there in Game 6. But I'll ask you, Lonte, what's going to be your home run pick for Game 7?
Yeah, you know what's funny is I chose for in Game 5 when me and Mal did one of the games. I can't remember which one. They all kind of blend together. I picked that Toronto to hit no home run. And then the first two batters hit home runs against and then the next game, they don't hit a home run.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so I'm going with Max Muncy. We talked about it at the top. I like the two lefties, especially if they can get one, maybe 1.5 times through with Scherzer. I think that either one of them will pick him off. Hopefully it's Muncy. So I'm going with Muncy.
Yeah, so for me, I'm trying to figure out who I want to do because I need a good price with it. Do I think Ohtani actually hits a bomb in Game 7? I mean, the price is $230. Like, it's such a horrible price anyway. You're priced out. Betts had a big single. Do I think he hits a home run? I don't know. Will Smith's been okay in the series. I think I'll go with Will Smith. I think that at the end of the day, he's actually been seeing the ball quite well so far in the series. He's had a hit in 9 of the last 10. The fact is, he does have a home run in the series. It's $485. I didn't mind the price there. He thought he had another home run in the series, which he did not have in extra innings. But I do think the price is fine. Smith's batting top of the order, so might get a bunch of plate appearances. We'll see. But Smith has been constructing good at-bats, which is good enough for me. Give me Will Smith home run at plus 485 as my home run choice for Game 7. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the show and for the season. Because win or lose, we're not going to be back. So, Lonte, I'll ask you, any last words for either of the Game 7 or for the season?
No, man, I thought we had a good season as well, grinding out all these games. Yeah, man, just looking forward to hopefully capping it off with some winners. And yeah, man, it's gonna be a long off season for a lot of teams. I mean, we've seen some hirings already. I'm sure it's gonna be a ton of movement early on with the free agents and some trades with a lot of teams like thinking they're right there to contend. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a pretty good offseason for the MLB.
Yeah, I think it should be fun. Now, I know it is the MLB Gambling Podcast. We're going to have some off-season episodes at some point. There is also the World Baseball Classic taking place from March 5th to March 17th. Maybe we'll do some episodes for that too. So keep an eye out if you want some baseball. We might do that in March. So keep an eye out for that. But either way, that's going to wrap it up for Game 7 and for the season with the MLB Gambling Podcast. Hopefully you made some money along the way. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. We covered a bunch of games, covered basically all the games. So hopefully, once again, you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to like, subscribe to help the channel grow. Find me on Twitter, Rachel Radio. Find him on Twitter at XXLonteXX. Also, of course, Mal and Dylan, who couldn't be here for Game 7. Shout out to them, who also appeared in a bunch of episodes throughout the entire season. But last words, I thought it was a great season. For us, the channel grew. I know a lot of people enjoyed the picks and enjoyed the content. So hopefully, once again, you join us next season, also during the off season, and we might also do some World Baseball Classic stuff in March. So keep an eye out for that. Till next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye, everyone.